Ta-da! I told you I'd be back. Anyways, I digress. Hey, I'm having my first beer, and I decided to pop this one. This was a gift from a friend. David Eddington brought this down when he was passing through Springfield. Floyd's Arctic Panzer Wolf. Now, I did have this once before. Another friend, Tom Shipman, sent a bottle down when Stuart was here in town, and we split it. But he seemed to think that that bottle may not have been fresh. So I was excited when David brought this down, so I am tasting a fresh bottle. Their website is 9.5%, 100 IBUs. It's pretty big. Obviously, it's a double IPA of sorts, but Three Floyds does many varieties of IPAs and double or imperial IPAs. Interesting nose on it. The ingredients list on this is very interesting because two-row malt dextrose sugar. It adds sugar to the bill. And lots of American hops. Okay, so they don't give you everything, but they do tell you there's some sugar involved. And again, allows you to keep the body thin, ABV up. Oh, wow, that's good. The problem with adding sugar is that although it does get your ABV up, it does tend to allow you to taste more alcohol as well. So using some is okay. It has to be in balance with your other malts and everything else. Otherwise, it's going to overpower and you're going to have this heavy alcohol taste. Nice. Sugar will also affect your finish as well. I've talked about beers before having a lazy finish. That cheaper adjunct beers that do add a lot of sugar, corn sugar, corn syrup, for instance. It won't allow your finish to finish crisp. It will give this lazy, real sugary, sweet finish. This one doesn't do this, probably because it has a grunt load of hops in it. It is very hoppy. There is a lot of flavors going on. If they didn't have it on the label, would I know there is sugar in it? Probably not. But you can tell that it's not a total malt bill. You do have a flavor. The body is thin. And there is something else there. Your finish isn't quite as crisp as a beer would be that didn't have the sugar in it. So could I tell it was what do they say here? Dextrose sugar. Could I tell it was dextrose sugar? No, but I would be able to tell there was something in here besides malt adding to the ABV and the overall body of the beer. This is an IPA. Wow, it's good. This is an IPA for folks that want a lighter body in their double IPA. Early versions of double IPAs are different than most newer breweries are doing them now. They were much heavier on the body because they wanted a more balanced beer. The current crop tends to think, like my friend David, for instance, he wants that very thin body and a whole lot of hops. Is probably an IPA he likes a lot because it does have a relatively thin body for being 9.5%. What you lose when you do that, though, is you lose complexity. So if you want, that's your trade-off. Do you want your malt complexity, the balance with the hops, or you want a very thin beer that's heavily hopped? It's going to depend on what you're looking for. Now, personally, me, honestly, it depends on my mood. It depends on the weather, a lot of factors. Typically, I probably, well, it is hard to say. I was going to say something. I was going to say typically I might want them a little bit fuller, but there are times I like this thinner body. He brought a beer down. I've done a couple beer videos on. I'll probably do another one called Flat 12 Half Cycle. That's a beautiful beer because it's very thin. It's only 6%, but 100 plus IBU. So I mean, it's seriously hop heavy, but because of that, it makes it very refreshing, perfect for the summer, for the spring and summer. But although it's going to be good, you may want something that has a little more complexity. Again, for the fall and winter, and that's the difference. That's the trade-off when you do something like that. When you make that body so thin that all you taste is the hops, it makes a great tasty beer that showcases the hops. Perfect for the spring and summer, but you also lose some of that malt complexity, and that's going to be your trade-off. Oh. Oh. You really don't. You can tell that there's something else in here. There is a slight alcohol taste, um, more than a lot of double IPAs, but it also is hop heavy. This beer is designed to showcase the hops, the hoppage, as I'm trying to coin a phrase or coin a word there. But you do lack a little of malt complexity. You can taste some sugar in there. On the beer whisper scale, would it be a buy again if I was there? Yeah, probably. I don't know if it'd be one that I'd actively seek out all the time because I'm constantly looking for something different. But yeah, it is certainly good enough to be a buy again. Is it one of my personal favorites? I don't know. It's good. I doubt if it would hit my top 10 of double IPAs, because I really like a little more complexity going on. Even though there is a lot of hops, there's a lot of flavors here. It's very one dimensional. And again, it's just going to depend on what type of beer you're looking for. But because I've got an 85-degree day out here, and this is a very, even though it's so big, hop wise, and powerful, and brutal on your palate, it is also refreshing. So I mean, for me today, it's a perfect beer. So today, yeah, it fits in perfect with what I want. And I love the fact that Three Floyds and many breweries are doing this now, are making different versions of different beers. IPAs, for instance, which seems to be what Three Floyds does a lot of. Is instead of putting one out and saying that's it, they're giving you a lot of choices, and other breweries are starting to do that. Mother's just came out with their second double IPA called Doozy, vastly different from their Troublemaker, a whole different animal altogether. And again, it's just going to depend on what type of IPA you're looking for double IPA, because the Troublemaker, although it is extremely hoppy, is also much more malty. It is more balanced, has much more malt complexity. Whereas the Doozy is much more complex in the hop department. Very, very complex in the hop department. A lot of flavors going on. So again, it's just going to depend on what flavors you want. Well, some people like something better all the time. And me, I'm one of those guys that wants something different all the time. So, I probably could never tell you which one I like better, the Doozy or the Troublemaker, because it's going to depend on my mood at that moment. But some people, like my friend David, for instance, he's pretty, set in his ways in the type of IPA he likes. He likes that lighter body, heavy hop. So I can see why this beer is perfect for him. And that flat cycle, again, it's just an absolutely beautiful beer. Now, even though that flat cycle is only 6%, if somebody said, here's a bottle of this, or here's a bottle of that, you can only pick one. I picked the flat cycle because I just love the way it's particularly put together. All the flavors are, it is light on the malt, heavy on the hops, but all the flavors are extremely clean, and that's what I like. So if I had to pick one beer, even though that's just a regular IPA, regular IPA by ABV standards, double IPA by IBU standards, I would take that one. But this is a fine beer from Three Floyds, and everything from Three Floyds is awesome. So here you go. I talked a long time, and I went around in circles about 3 or 4 different times. I tend to do that. So anyway, this time to Beer Whisper. It's my first beer video on my birthday. See you later. I'll be back.